Today's question was, can I self-publish as an ebook and then later approach a publisher for paperback? So this is an excellent question, and there are many people who have first started by publishing an ebook or paperback book and then later decided that now I would like to have maybe a formal publisher, publishing house, a recognized publishing house, come in and take over and maybe perhaps take the rights, buy the rights to the book, so we can go from there. Or does self-publishing first hurt your chances of anybody considering taking your book later? So these are a number of the challenges that are associated with this. Well, this is Chris Baird from selfpublishingmadeeasynow.com. Hit the subscribe bell or leave a comment to help me produce more videos like this one. Also, in the comments below, you will find a link to my self-publishing secrets checklist. You will want to check that out. That's helped me publish 170 plus books on Amazon and other sites. So take a look at that. Well, from my own story, I realized I listened to an awful lot of podcasts and read a lot of books and followed a lot of the experts in self-publishing. And one of the things that became very clear to me was that self-publishing is definitely a great starting point. It both helps you to understand the whole process. It helps you to understand what it is to formulate a book. You're able to get in contact with your audience. There's a whole series of things that were positive. Now, I've never had the desire to go over to traditional publishing from self-publishing, and maybe a lot of it is because of the horror stories that I heard from the people who maybe even went the other route. They started with the traditional publisher and then they changed their mind and decided to go for the self-publishing route afterwards. So the answer is yes, it is definitely an option. So you can, in fact, go from the self-publishing, and this is perhaps even the best way to go about doing it. And the reason being is because for many of the major publishing houses, they have no intention of actually pushing or promoting your book. They may put it out there for a little bit, but in terms of a lot of the promotions and stuff, you'll be responsible yourself for that. And so this is usually not a very good idea. So the major publishing houses, they may not even accept it in the first place, since they accept so few number of books, and as gatekeepers they decide which books. And remember, all the books from Harry Potter to even Stephen King's books and stuff, the number of rejections that these people with even Moby Dick took when they first tried to publish their books. The gatekeepers are not necessarily great at knowing what is a good book versus what is a poor book, and even once they get the book, it's not clear that they actually will fully know what to do with the book in terms of marketing and such. But they're really not going to want to take a chance sometimes on a book unless they know it's going to make money. So they're going to want to see that you already have a following. But how are you going to have a following if you haven't actually published any books? You don't have an audience. You don't know. And so once you self-publish your book as an ebook or paperback or audiobook, then after that you will be showing people that there's a desire, a demand for the books that you have. And so this is actually a really fantastic way to start things off, is that they will see that you are selling books. The next thing is, afterwards, you can sell the rights to the book and then use the major publishing house to come out with additional books in the series that you've been doing. But generally, they're going to wait to see that it actually is working, which is going to push you to sell books in the categories and in the genres and such that people already want to buy. And you will have built a following, and people will be buying your books on a regular basis. So you will have that behind you, and so maybe even some of the major publishing houses may approach you. So the doors will not be shut on you for publishing as an ebook or paperback for that matter, but rather only be open. But you may prefer self-publishing. Many people have found that once the major publishing houses own the rights, they can control what types of promotions will happen for your books. They can control the pricing. You only make 10, 11% off royalties off of the books that sell, as opposed to 70%, which you get off your ebooks when you're selling them on Kindle at the right price range between $2.99 and $9.99. And in addition, for all the books that you've got on the market, some people even prefer to actually buy them back from the main publisher. The final thing I would just point out, it is the fact that you had asked about ebooks first and then do it as paper. You actually can do all at the same time, and I would recommend you do as an ebook, as a paperback on Kindle print, Ingram Spark as a paperback, also Lulu hardback, and ACX as your for your audiobook, pushing it out there. You want as big of an audience as possible. Our goal is not to see how few people we can reach with our books, but how many people, and the more money we have, the better the quality of the books we're going to be able to produce that's coming in, and we're going to be able to show these publishers that we're worth following. Also, if you've got a blog and you've got YouTube, you've got all sorts of stuff that you're using in order to build up popularity for your books so that people are willing and wanting to buy those books. And that's going to show the traditional publishing houses that you're worth the time and the money necessary to actually take it through your particular that particular route. So this is what have you found? Have you found that by publishing an ebook or self-publishing that somehow made it harder for you to get your books accepted? Has anybody ever turned you down because they said, "No, we see that you self-published and now all the books on the market and lots of people are buying, and we see a huge following on Twitter and Facebook and on Instagram and on Pinterest and all of these places, and so clearly we're not going to want to publish your books." It's hard to see how that would be the case, but I'd be interested. Or maybe you've also decided that this isn't for you. So if that's the case, go ahead and leave your comments below in the things and check out the link above to finding more exciting videos like this one. Thanks.